Okay, for this next part, we're going to create an entirely new object. There's a few more things I think I could do for this as well, but we'll come back. I don't know, maybe let me just do this right now. I want to put just a little bit more detail in here. I was kind of looking over some things, and I want to put just a little bit more detail. And so what I'm going to do is create another box, just a very, very simple box. I'm going to do it right here so I can line it up pretty easily. And basically, I just want to create some lines like this. But I'm going to press N for numeric. And this is going to be so small that I don't want any radius or any segments on it. I do just want a simple little box, kind of like that. Yeah, that's good. And I'm going to press the T key, and I'm going to move that down probably right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to just move it down here to the end. I'm going to go all the way from this end zone right here, about like that. Shift A to fit that, and then I'm going to drop it down onto the field like that. Okay, and then we're going to go to multiply. We're going to select duplicate and clone, and I'm going to use maybe about 100 of these. Down to Z, 100 millimeters maybe. And actually, a better way to do this, that might be okay, might just be to clone just a few of them and copy and paste them in each area. But I think this will work. My concern was going through those particular existing bars. But what I'm going to do is that, because I want these to repeat, we're not trying to build a real football field here. We're trying to create something that just has a little different, unique look to it. I'm going to come to this face view, or the back view here, and press the H key, which is my scale tool. It's under modify. And I am just going to scale those up. Kind of like that. And actually, you know what? Let's have them be less than the downs. I think it'll in the yardage. That way, they'll go underneath. Yeah, that might be a little bit better way to go. And that way they go underneath those main lines, just like that. But still have some dimensionality to them. Okay, so put this in the background and Shift V for mirror, and I'm going to click right on that 0 axis and kind of drag up a little. All right, and that just mirrored them over. And I'll press Q, and we'll make sure that this is our football field surface as well, just like that. And in fact, why don't we do this? We'll call this football field, and we'll call this dashes. We may use the same surface, but if we want to vary it a bit, we now have a unique surface name. Okay? So you can always copy and paste the exact same surface as a football field, but in this particular case, I think we're going to keep it as that glass surface. Now, when I clone them, I made 100 of them just so it shoots right off the end. I can do two things. I can obviously delete them, or if I go to my Move tool, press the A key to fit, and hold the Control key, I can actually just move them down and let them extend off the field for a completely unique look. And it all depends on how your animation is, how you want it to be. And that can be pretty cool, but I'm going to do some other things, I think, that will work a little bit better than that. So just Command or Control Z to undo. And then I'm going to go to polygon mode, and with the right mouse, just lasso around these like that, and press the right bracket key to select connected, and then Command X to cut. Move my mouse right here, and I'm going to press the G key, which centers where my mouse is, and then I'll press the period key to zoom in, and let's just get these last two rogue dashes. Right bracket key to select connected, Command X to cut. Okay, all right. Command X to cut the entire thing. Go to layer 1, Command V to paste, and then S to save. Okay, so now we've got that entire football field, which is a little bit more unique look to it. All right, so from the File menu, New Object, A key to fit. And here we're going to create these kind of metallic trusses, sort of a support system that's going to go through the entire scene, which is going to be really cool. Very, very simple. Again, just simple geometric shapes, but once they're surface and textured and reflective and you're moving around them, it works. So I'm going to hold the Control key and just draw a little disc like that. And in my numeric, I want to make sure it's 48 sides. Okay, not the default 24. Okay, again, similar to the side of the football field, I want that nice and smooth. Okay, now how long should this be? Well, let's just make it really long. I'm going to come over here and just zoom out my view. Well, maybe not that much. And just click down here like that. And that made it 150 millimeters, something like that. Works okay for me. Turn the disk tool off, and we can press F2 to center it. And let's just zoom in to make sure I didn't change the radius. It can be real easy as you're dragging out that disk to misshape this. You want to keep that even. Okay, but there's no segments on the sides because it's just one long tube. Close this so you can see. Just one long tube like that. Okay, and if you want it longer, go to point mode. Use your right mouse button to lasso around one of those ends. I'm going to zoom it out. Press the T key for move. Hold your control key and just click and drag. And the control is constraining that axis. Spacebar turns off your tool. Question mark deselects. And then you can press F2 to center. Now I've got a really nice long truss that you can work with there. Now from here, we need 3 of these. Okay. So here's how I'm going to do this. This one's perfectly centered, right? That could be our top one. So I'm going to go to polygon mode. Just click on this. Press the right bracket key, which selects everything connected. Command or Control C to copy. Modify and move. And then let's just move it down like this over here. And Command V to paste. And I'm just lining this up, eyeballing it, just like that. And then I go Shift V for my mirror tool. That's under multiply. And you can just press N for numeric, and it automatically defaults to 0 on the X, which is what we want. This is the X-axis right here in the center. Even though this is the Y up and down, this is the X0 axis. And basically by pressing my numeric, it activates the tool and goes to its default. So I'll press the question mark / key, and now I've perfectly mirrored that over, and I have a pretty close to even triangular shape with the 3 tubes. Okay, so F2 to center those, just to keep things even. Now, here's the fun part. We get to create all these little tubes all the way down. And the easiest way to do that is just select one of these, press the right bracket key to select connected, Command or Control C to copy, go to a new layer, and paste it down. Okay, so we didn't cut those away, we just took one and copied it. And then, in point mode, I'm going to right mouse, lasso select one of the ends, press the T key, hold the control key, and then just bring that all the way down like that. And let's press the lower side of that layer 1 so we can see our entire background layer. Shift A to fit that. Okay, so now we've got a smaller version of this. And let's press the question mark to deselect those. Okay, so now I want this whole thing a little bit smaller. Okay. And that's why I wanted to copy. It makes it nice and easy. So we're going to modify and size right down there. Shift H to size, and my mouse is set to selection, my action center under modes, meaning what action I perform with my mouse is going to be based on the selection. If it's set to mouse, let's undo this, and I put my mouse over here, it's going to size towards that mouse. So in this case, I want it set to selection, which is the bottom one. It doesn't matter where I click, and I want it about yay big. Okay, Shift A to fit that. Here's a little trick I use all the time. I press the R key. It does an instant 90-degree rotate. Okay, I like that one. Then I'm going to press the Y key, and we're going to rotate it like this. And press T key to move it up. Like that. I'm going to line up these points right in there. And then I'm going to press the Y key again and make this mode set to mouse, which means where my mouse is where I'm rotating from. So I can specifically say, right here, rotate about like that. Okay, no math here involved, just eyeballing it. Because again, this is just an element. You know, we're not building a structure here that we have to prove with some architects. Okay, so I just right mouse around those points, slide them in there. Spacebar turns off the tool, and then I can even right mouse to deselect. And if you hold the Shift key, you can see that now you've got a beginning support structure. Okay. Again, it's just, Simple elements. We're not creating a bridge here. We're just making some elements. Okay, I'm selecting the bottom here, and I'm going to move them over just a little bit. You got to be careful not to move too much because it'll end up, you want to rotate the entire object. If you pull those points too much, they'll start deforming that beam. From here, I'm going to press Shift V for mirror, and right at this edge, right here, I'll try and come in so you can see a little bit better. I'm over here in the right view. Right about here, I'm just going to click the mouse and drag up. I want that intersection to be in those beams up there. Hold the Shift key, you can see that they both go in there just fine. And they could be a little bit closer, maybe, but I think these are fine. So from here, what do? I clone. Now, I can do the math on how long that is and measure out those, but I find it much more fun to just come in here and go duplicate, clone. Let's do about 20 of those suckers. On the z-axis, kind of like we did before, down that positive z. Each grid is 5 meters in length. Let's do 4 meters. So I press 4 and enter, and click OK. And it looks like I was pretty close. I'm a little bit off. I mean, I could keep those, but I want those just a little bit closer. So Command Z or Control Z to undo. We'll come back to clone, and let's go to about 3.7. Enter, and OK. One more. See, it's fun this way. Isn't it? Trial and error, 3.5. We're keeping it. Yep, there you go. Okay, I'm going to press S to save, and because I have not saved it yet, it says unnamed with a little asterisk. We'll call this truss. Is that what it's really called? I don't know. But that's what we're calling it. Now, Shift V to mirror, and I can either use my numerics to center over that 0, or I can just eyeball it like that and click and drag up a little. Turn off the mirror tool. Okay, now I've got that. Now, I don't think that's structurally sound, but I don't really care because it's 3D. It's not real. What I'm going to do instead is go to polygon mode, run my mouse across these suckers, press the right bracket key, okay? Then use my R key. Remember that R key I used? 90 degree rotate, 90 degree rotate. Oops, let me undo that 2 times. Change our mode back to selection. Watch what happens. R key, R key. It rotates in place. Okay? Because the action was set to selection. Before it was set to mouse. And it just, wherever my mouse was, that's where it rotated to. And by doing that, I've now, let me undo it twice. Look what happens here. See, those are selected, right? They perfectly match the other side. Okay? Press the R key once, R key twice. I've rotated those now so they're opposite of the opposite side. Okay? With these selected, Command or Control C to copy. Change your mode back to mouse. Press the Y key, and down here in front, just rotate those suckers down like that. And then Command or Control V to paste the originals back down. And from here, you can press the R key a couple of times, kind of rotate those. T key for move. Put one end in, and then for points, right mouse around these points here. Then press the T key, and just drag those over. And notice I work in this front view here, because when I select the points like this, see over here in the perspective view, selects all the way down. Okay? Press S to save. And actually, let's do a Shift S, like that. Hold the Shift key. Let's expand this view, and I want to make sure that on my edges here, none of these are sticking out, which they're not. There we go. And we've now made this crazy-looking non-supportive truss that wouldn't hold up anything, but it's going to look great in the animation because it's just intricate, messy, and somewhat repetitive. Except I should probably move these down a little. Let me do that real quick. I mean, we're not worried about it being too accurate, but hold on one second. Okay, letting all those select. I'm going to press the T key for move, and I'm just going to move these so that they are lined up along the rest of these connections. So spacebar turns that off, and there we go. S to save. Now the last thing I got to do is clean out all these extra ones I made, just like I did earlier with the football field. So I'm going to right mouse around these in polygon mode, right bracket to select connected, period key to zoom in. Let's take this guy too, right bracket, and then Command X to cut, A key to fit, and then we can right mouse around these guys, right bracket, Command X to cut, and then S to save. Okay, so there's my little truss. Okay, and it's just another element we're just going to add into the scene. We can put them vertically, we can connect them together. So I'm going to Command X to cut this layer, Command V to paste it in that layer, and then save it out because I don't need it in 2 layers. That would just complicate things when I get to layout. Last thing I got to do with this is press my Q, which is also down here, surface, and we'll call this truss. Ba-ding. Okay, save it again. You have to because that surface won't save. And it looks like I deleted a few too many down there by accident when I moved it. So I will go ahead and fix that, but because I went a little too fast. But we just want to make sure that these continue all the way down. When I moved it down, I deleted the wrong end. And you can either undo that if you followed me exactly, or you probably caught my mistake as I was doing it. I'm going to undo a few times and watch. Here's what happened. There it is. Yeah, see, I moved that down and to line those up, and I moved them too far. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Let's move on to the next video, and we'll make a few more elements with letters and numbers, kind of things like that, and then we're going to get ready to start animating this thing.